Have scientists finally discovered a real-life Yeti? Much like Bigfoot in North America, the Yeti is a creature shrouded in myth and mystery. It's generally believed to simply be a campfire legend, but some are still convinced that it lives in secret in the Himalayan mountains. Is the abominable snowman really hiding out in the cold wilderness, or is it just a figment of our imaginations? Welcome back to Critical Theories. Let's head back down the rabbit hole. The Yeti is a mythical creature often referred to as a cryptid of Tibetan folklore. Some consider it to be a cousin of the North American Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Much like Bigfoot, the Yeti is said to be a large, bipedal ape-like creature that lives high in the Himalayas. Reports vary, but most sightings and stories say it has white fur all over its body. Presumably, this is so it can blend in with the snow that covers the ground all year round at such high altitudes. Interestingly, there are 3 primary varieties of Yeti in Tibetan folklore. These 3 variants come in widely different flavors of temperament, size, and fur color. The largest and fiercest variety supposedly stands at 15 feet tall and is known to be aggressive upon every interaction. The mid-range version is the most commonly spoken of, being the 8-foot-tall white fur and unpredictable temperament variety. This version shows up in most stories of the Yetis and is typically believed to be the wild man of the mountains that Sherpas are known to speak of. Several European explorers of the early 20th century documented the tales their Sherpa guides told them, leading to the concept of the abominable snowman, making its way back to the Western world. Those who deny the existence of the Yeti point out that no specimen of the creature has ever been recovered. They argue that even if a live Yeti could not be caught, deceased remains would still crop up now and then. The scientific world knew of the existence of the giant squid for decades because bodies would wash up on the shore or get caught in fishing nets. Despite not discovering a live specimen until 2006, the existence of most cryptids is called into question with this argument. There are fewer and fewer places for these creatures to hide, and the lack of clear physical evidence strongly suggests that the Yeti may merely be a creature of myth. However, there are plenty of those who believe the Yeti is real, and they claim the evidence for it is out there. The first claim Yetistans make is that there are similar stories from other mountainous regions around the world. Specifically, there is eerily similar folklore in Siberia and the mountainous west of North America. In Siberia, there is the Chuchuna. This creature bears a striking resemblance to both the Yeti and Sasquatch. It is a humanoid, bipedal ape-like creature, stands approximately 7 feet tall, and has dark fur, and lives in the harsh, sparsely inhabited mountains. There are numerous examples of these creatures of folklore being almost interchangeable across continents, centuries, and cultures. Supporters of the Yeti theory claim this is more than just a coincidence. This is potential proof that these people are telling stories of an as-yet undiscovered member of the animal kingdom. There are over half a dozen different examples of creatures that fit the description of the Yeti. Considering these creatures tend to be described as being solitary in nature, and in some cases, being able to use tools and even wearing clothing of sorts, there are reasons we would not have found them yet. Perhaps, they claim, the members of the Yeti family are so remote, so solitary, and so good at remaining out of sight, they have successfully remained undetected except by the few brave souls who venture through their territory. As for why the bodies have never been found, they point to early human history. According to archaeologists, humans have been burying or otherwise disposing of their dead for millennia, dating even back before the age of written history. If these cryptids are indeed able to use tools, that suggests a certain level of civilization. Perhaps they are disposing of their dead on their own, instead of leaving them where they fall. Theorists suggest that the reason we have not found Bigfoot or Yeti bodies anywhere is that perhaps they are burying them before we can find them. The argument rages on, with neither side giving up any ground. Those who refuse to believe only see proof against, while those who believe only see evidence supporting their beliefs. In 2019, the Indian Army announced that they had found footprints they believed belonged to a Yeti. They released several photos of the tracks, sparking a fierce debate online. Believers saw this as an irrefutable evidence of the creature's existence. However, the internet as a whole was not as receptive to the images. The Indian Army was raked over the coals on Twitter, now X, for feeding into superstitions and campfire tales. But if those tracks weren't from a Yeti, what might have made them? They were real. No one is disputing that. They appeared to be natural, and they went on for a significant distance. The prints themselves were huge, far too large to be made by any human. If it wasn't a Yeti, what would it have been? Well, scientists may, in fact, have an answer. The typical Yeti is believed to be a large ape-like creature that lives in the mountains. What if, however, it wasn't an ape, but rather more like a bear? That is the theory posited by several biological scientists studying the claims about the Yeti. One aspect of the Yeti's mythology is that it is known to climb trees. This would seem surprising, given their enormous size, but there is precedent for this in the animal kingdom. Bears are known to be incredibly nimble while climbing trees, with some species being able to climb faster than they can run. Now I'm sure you're asking yourself, how could a bear be mistaken for an ape? Well, frankly, we don't know, but stranger things have happened. The sightings of the Yeti have described a large, furry creature standing approximately 7 to 8 feet tall, with varying colors and shades of fur across a wide swath of territory. These areas are not known to be the homes of many, if any, apes or monkeys. What they do have plenty of is bears. So could there be a kind of bear that fits the specific description of the Yeti that lives in the Himalayan mountains? Polar bears come to mind, but they don't live anywhere near India. These scientists believe they may have found a species of bear that fits the bill. The discovery was initiated when they began looking closely at the pictures and casts of footprints supposedly left by the Yeti. While at first glance they do appear to be humanoid or ape-like, the positioning of the toes consistently made them question the findings. When they couldn't find a true match among the ape family, they broadened their search to other members of the animal kingdom. It was then that they noticed just how wide the foot was, and how much of the snow around the prints was disturbed, indicating fur and claws. Suddenly, they had a light bulb moment. Going back to old documents, they found that the most well-known Yeti sightings did not describe a white furry ape, but rather one with brown or black fur. The scientists then tracked down what little physical evidence has been recovered from Yeti sightings, namely a few strands of fur and some feces. While that last bit might be kinda gross, a creature's feces can tell a scientist a lot. For instance, when archaeologists examined the feces from a human campsite in North America, they found that it was approximately 14,000 years old, suggesting that people have been on the continent far longer than initially theorized. Beyond that, diet, traveling habits, and sometimes even species can be determined from investigating scat. These samples were discovered and gathered from different sightings at different times. If they indicated a singular creature, they could be one step closer to conclusively identifying the Yeti. When they had the biological samples analyzed, they found exactly what they needed, if not what they were looking for. The samples all came back with confirmed sources, but the sources were somewhat varied. A tooth, which had been hailed as being some of the strongest evidence for the Yeti, turned out to be from the canine family. The rest of the samples came back as bears, but not all the same kind of bear. Most commonly, the samples were found to have been from black bears and Himalayan brown bears. But wait, aren't Yetis white? Aren't they supposed to be able to camouflage in the snow? Scientists theorize that the belief that the Yeti has white fur may come from multiple myths blending together over time. There is evidence of this happening all over the world, with various different cultures and mythologies coming together to form new legends altogether. If these scientists are right, the original stories of the Yeti could have been about these powerful bears being seen walking on their hind legs from far away and being mistaken for hairy apes. This, combined with the myths of the wild men with white, furry arms, and the Yeti could have morphed from a bear into the abominable snowman it is believed to be today. course, this all is just a theory, as the idea of a brown bear being mistaken for a white ape seems almost as hard to believe as the existence of the ape in the first place. Some theorists claim that the Yeti is just a big bear is a cover-up. They believe that the Indian government or someone more nefarious has indeed found the Yeti. However, it benefits them to keep its existence a secret, and they are simply trying to hide it through disinformation and false reports. Those who support the cover-up theory claim that the inclusion of the dog's tooth was suspicious. The exact kind of dog does not seem to have been revealed, and there was no reason for it to have been found among the Yeti evidence to begin with. They believe that the powers that be coerced these scientists into falsifying their discoveries about this elusive creature. Unfortunately, at this time, there is no conclusive answer to these claims of a cover-up. It appears there is ample evidence to support one's beliefs, regardless of which side of the argument you support. Perhaps the world will never know for sure if a great furry ape patrols the Himalayan mountains. Let us know what you believe in the comments below. This has been Critical Theories. Thanks for watching.